All right, guys, welcome back to the book club of Future Proofing You. This video is on chapter 2, leveraging obstacles for success. It starts off with, it's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Albert Einstein. So this chapter basically focuses on problems. That word problems, not on like problems in general, like problems of the world, problems of this problem. No, just that word problem. And how that is going to be your one of your keys to success. So problems. So let's see, where do we go? After losing his arm in a car crash, a young boy's parents thought it would help their son's self-confidence if he studied judo. The Japanese judo master was impressed with the 10-year-old's attitude and personally trained him week after week. The boy took the lesson seriously, practicing day and night. After 3 months of vigorous practice, the boy was frustrated that the old master had only taught him one single move. "Sensei, I have worked so hard on this move. I think I am ready to learn another one," the boy implored. "This move you know," proclaimed the wise master. "This is the only move you will ever need to know." Wanting to be respectful of his old teacher, the boy continued to practice his one move and had the confidence to enter his first tournament. With the sensei looking on, the boy swiftly defeated his first opponent, then his second, then his third, then he progressed into the very final end. Now, the final, standing before him, was a teenager nearly twice his size, and the one-armed boy feared for his safety. And the referee told the sensei that as heroic as the child's accomplishment in the day had been, he was going to call off the match. So the referee just looked at this boy with one arm and said, "Okay, well, this guy's twice your size. You're not gonna last this. I'm just gonna call off the match." But the sensei's like, it has to continue. So after all this, the one-armed boy, well, he was a champion. And they said, so as they were leaving the tournament, the boy modestly asked his master, "How did I win against such an experienced opponent with just one move?" Sensei said, "2 reasons. First, you truly mastered one of judo's most challenging throws. And second, the only one defense for that move is to grab the opponent's left arm." That boy's problem had become his solution. So the boy's to grab his left arm, meaning that's probably the arm he lost. Like, gone. The left arm was gone. He only had the right arm. And because he didn't have the left arm, he won. So truth number 2, if you guys remember, truth number 1 was in chapter 1. But truth number 2, obstacles are opportunities in disguise. Obstacles, not products, are the source of creating wealth. Solve a problem for your friends, you are popular. Solve a few million, you become rich. Remove an obstacle for 1 billion, you change the world. Solving for others is at the heart of every great product, service, or company. Just like the boy's missing arm, the obstacles that have been holding you back all these years can be leveraged to create success. One of the biggest misconceptions about business of making money is the belief that wealth is achieved from selling products. Buy low, sell high. And this is like I don't know, for me, this is like the one thing you see the most in like YouTube ads, Facebook ads, is like buy low, sell high. People who call themselves the greatest investors, jokingly, this is sarcastically speaking, say buy low, sell high. Anyways, so 2 examples. Sam Walton built a multi-billion-dollar empire by selling lots of items for a low markup at Walmart. But that's not what made him rich. Before Walmart, there was other retailers selling the same discounted goods in every major city in America. But Sam's business, to do over $500 billion a year, was that he had the insight to see an unmet need. That's what differentiated Walmart from those that came before it. Sam focused on obstacles facing his families in smaller towns. Jeff Bezos became the richest man in the world by solving the same problem Sam solved. Bezos sold the same products at the same price as his competitors, but Amazon made it easier for everyone to shop by moving into e-commerce. So obstacles are everywhere. Be thankful you have problems, because they are the key to your salvation. The problems you endure every day are most likely faced by millions of others. So the first step to solving problems is recognizing them. It isn't that they cannot find a solution. It is that they cannot see the problem. As I will repeat again and again in this book, insight and perseverance are the only two things you need to achieve success. This chapter will teach you how to hone your insight skills and identify obstacles that most people overlook. So it goes into finding problems to solve. Life is pain. Anyone who says differently is selling something. The Man in Black, The Princess Bride. Fun fact, that's one of my favorite movies. So it goes into the three problems a day, 30-day challenge is exactly what it names implies. Starting now, put down this book and write down 3 problems in your life. You must continue to write down 3 new problems every day for an entire month. Write each problem on a separate 3x5 index card and include as much detail as you can. So you don't forget in 3 weeks why you wrote it down in the first place. You don't have time to walk the dog, you forgot to order t-shirts for your daughter's soccer team. It really doesn't matter what the problems are as long as they are yours personally. Now this is a challenge. This is where you need to start challenging your assumption and take your brain off autopilot. So this is a challenge that I'm gonna do, and I need my readers to do as well, is to write 3 problems a day for 30 days, okay? Most people get stuck after the first few days. They think they have exhausted their list of problems. It's not that their lives are perfect, it's that they aren't paying attention. Solving problem means listening. The 3 problems a day, 30-day challenge is designed to wake you from your slumber. During the 30 days, concentrate on every moment of your day. The one example he gave was Larry Tversky. After he finished a call, Larry couldn't remember whether he took his pill. And then Larry recognized it as a problem. So a lot of us, right, forget, like after we tell ourselves to do, some of us, not all of us, would say, yo, I need to move this pen to the other side. But in the middle of that process, they like get a phone call and then they forget, damn, was I supposed to move the pen to that side, or did I move it already, or was I supposed to move the pen to that side? In this case, Larry was like, damn, did I take my pill, did I not take my pill? And that's when he came with an idea called timer cap. And timer cap basically is when you take your pill, you turn the timer cap off. And it's gonna have a clock on when the last time you took your pill. That clock resets when you take the new pill. So when you look at the pill bottle and you see that the hour is long, like 12 hours a day, 12 hours since it last opened, then you're like, yeah, I didn't take my pill. But if that new time is new and it's like 2 seconds after your 2-second call, then you're like, crap, I took it, right? I took my pill. One of the ways to make the most of this experience is to concentrate on that little voice in your head. And not all questions are problems, but having the heightened awareness will yield better results. Problems are nothing but wake-up calls for creativity. Get creative with your problems. If you get stuck, just look around at your families, friends, and coworkers. What problems are they complaining about? Or better yet, what problems do they face that you see they don't? Another example he gave was Dave Carlson. He was a 2nd-generation roofer. And he would just throw a tennis ball tied to a cloth tape measure so he could accurately measure the size of the roof. The cost of fixing or repairing a roof is a function of calculating the size on the roof. So since this was a hazardous job, David wanted to find an easier way, and he did, and he named this product Eagle View Technologies, which use algorithms to infer the roof size, shape, pitch, and area. A few years later, the team sold their problem-solving company for $650 million, and they've never had to climb on a roof again. So, one obstacle, one insight, and Dave, who now has his own island in Central America, is future-proof for life. With both Timer Cap and Eagle View, what they both had in common was using existing technologies to solve existing problems. These founders didn't have to invent the digital watch or satellite photography. They just had to apply these tools to solving an unaddressed need. Neither of these founders were engineers, but they knew what an engineer could be hired to build their products. Remember, Insight and perseverance are the only two things you need. Everything else can be hired. Another example he gives is Steve Jobs, who co-founded the world's most successful computer company. It was Apple's other co-founder, Steve, who wrote code. Steve was just a college dropout entrepreneur with perseverance. So at the end of the month, if you are committed and diligent, you should have a list of 90 problems in need of solutions. Within your list of 90 problems could be the next billion-dollar idea. Now comes the fun part, deciding which opportunity to pursue. Sort your cards along two axes, scale and passion. He gives a term called TAM. TAM stands for Total Addressable Market. And he says, in a course he teaches how to build a high-tech startup at USC, invariably a student proposes delivering food to dorms on campus. Yes, students get the munchies at night, but to go through the effort of building a business that doesn't scale when your TAM is less than 3,000 potential customers is a complete waste of time. So, TAM is when you're raising money to grow your business. Professional investors and venture capitalists will focus on quantifying your TAM. So TAM is how many people does a problem affect and how many more people impacted by a problem. So the more people impacted by a problem, the greater the financial opportunity is. So in guesstimating the TAM, be realistic in your assumptions. I once read a business proposal that started with the sentence, if every American ate one rabbit burger per week. Well, you may start by testing your idea locally, but concepts such as Uber, Airbnb, Facebook, and Dropbox were able to raise billions of dollars to go international because their TAM was global. The second axis is even more important to your long-term success. So the two axes were scale and passion. TAM is scale. The second one is to sort the problems according to your personal passion, as I mentioned previously. So starting any business is hard. All of the billion-dollar startups I mentioned in this chapter face constant challenges and unforeseen obstacles, but it was passion that propelled them forward. Which of your problems is the most meaningful to you? There is a simple 7-step process that everyone can implement. So 7 steps for problem solving. Step 1 is to identify the problem. In this 30-day exercise, you will give a high-level problem to focus on. So you'll get 1. And you need to dig deep into that problem. The more clearly you establish the goals and performance objectives of solving that problem, the easier it will be to identify the solution. Step 2 is to define the goals. What is success? How would you define the problem being solved? Waze, as an example, Waze, that app, didn't magically make millions of cars disappear from the roads, but rather it defined success as equally distributing the cars as efficiently as possible. Remember, your business doesn't have to create heaven on earth. It just has to make people's life a lot less hellish. Get as much input from as many sources as possible when identifying success. Your goal is to solve for the largest TAM that can be feasibly addressed. He gives an example about Swiffer, which was to get a 45-inch broom replacement product into the cleaning supply aisle at a supermarket. And their solution became clear. It was to break down the mop handle into pieces so that package could fit nearly on the shelves along floor wax and detergents. Step 3, which is Arthur's favorite step, is brainstorming. You'll be amazed of how many solutions have been hatched with only a pizza, a whiteboard, and a few erasable markers. Since no one is going into brainstorming sessions has a complete answer, the trick is to get people comfortable. So the trick he uses to get people comfortable is to only ask for half an idea. He says, I have half an idea on how to approach this. Does anyone else have the other half? The more viewpoints you bring to your brainstorming, the more angles with which to look at the problem. This is one of the advantages of having a multicultural team. Different life experiences create different points of view. So at this point of the process, you don't have to know if your solution is feasible or even what it would cost. You just need to coalesce around some possible methods. In a world of ever-changing technology, a good technique is to brainstorm solutions to existing problems using the latest buzzwords of the day as possible solutions. Is there a way that blockchain, virtual reality, the cloud, or artificial intelligence could solve the problem? The newer approach to the solution, the less likely that someone else doesn't beat you to that market. So the year Uber took off, hundreds of startups launched the Uber of solutions. VCs funded everything from the Uber of dog walking, Rover.com, the Uber of house cleaning, Handy, the Uber of in-home massages, Soothe, and even the Uber of babysitting, Poppy. As a side note, if you're looking to raise capital for your new business, framing it in terms of other startup with a successful business model is genius. It communicates what you're doing quickly and appeals to all those investors who wish they had a piece of the original company. This approach is so common for fundraising that even bad ideas can get funded quickly. Step 4 is to assess your alternate solutions. Some concepts will defy the laws of physics. Others may have been tried by others and failed. Whenever and wherever possible, bring data into the stage of the decision-making process. What are the consumers willing to pay? How much time and money will your solution save users? Is there a subset of users that would benefit most? Who are they, and why are their needs different? Step 5 is selecting and validating the solution. Most likely, you will not hit it out of the park your first time at bat. Often the reason something doesn't work is because in the act of testing, you discover other unmet needs. So, Nokia created the first mobile phone with a camera. However, that product didn't solve a perceived need. So in order for that to happen, they hired an attractive young couple to hang out at a busy tourist spot such as Times Square and asked people to take their pictures. When the couple handed people a phone, the seed was planted in the future customer's mind that it would be great to always have a camera handy. Within the first 2 years of its introduction, people were taking more photos per year on their phones than the total number of photographs shot in the first 150 years of photography. My favorite saying is to plant that seed. And I tell everybody this. I say the best thing you could do to get something started is to plant the seed. So I'm so glad when I read this, I'm like, man, maybe I have what it takes. No, I have what it takes. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, step 6 is all about monitoring the results of your product in the market. So again, the quicker you can analyze your data, the faster you can respond to your market. With over 3 billion people now using social media, you never know your product will take off. Great Tech was a small manufacturer of vacuum cleaners and gardening tools in Worcester, England. And one vlogger posted how great that small G-Tech vacuum cleaned under his bed, and 40,000 units were sold in Taiwan. So thanks to the reach of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snap, and LinkedIn, for the first time in history, every startup has a global reach. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, LinkedIn ads, the list goes on. But step 7 isn't the final step, because step 7 never ends. Step 7 is about evaluating your solutions, the ever-changing dynamic workplace, and your new copycat competitors. The first person you educate in business is not your customer, it's your competition. You saw an opportunity that the existing players missed. Don't expect them to stay on the sidelines for long. When Google experimented with the first self-driving cars a few years ago, all of its potential customers in Detroit, Japan, and Europe laughed it off because the cost of LiDAR sensors was around $75,000 per vehicle. Today, Ingauss-based sensors from companies such as Luminar are just $3 per unit. Now everyone is jumping into the market. What problem was Vin Clancy going to solve? Before meeting me, Vin Clancy fancied himself as a hacker. While by no means an engineer, Vin is a self-taught software enthusiast who intellectual curiosity made him obsessed with testing out the latest and greatest shortcut hacks and techniques for online marketing. Growth hacking is the art of competing with the big marketers for online attention without spending vast sums of advertising dollars on Google or Facebook. Coming from a blue-collar background, Vin had virtually no exposure to the corporate world of chief marketing officers, advertising agencies, or brand managers, but he was energetic, brash, and confident. He kept a list of online shortcuts and tricks for getting stuff done on the cheap. He defined his skill set as being the low-cost digital marketer. Unfortunately, this power tended to only appeal to those without the funds to pay for proper marketing, so Vin couldn't figure out how to make a living from growth hacking. In our very first mentoring session, fame was the first roadblock I ran into with Vin. He craved validation, so he really wanted his name to be the brand, but Jay kind of told him how that wasn't such a great thing to do. He gave examples like Papa John's, namesake after John Schnatter, who had to resign from the company because he was making racist comments. Martha Stewart went to prison. So he gave an example from the world's most famous entrepreneur, Richard Branson. And Richard Branson created autonomous brands with Virgin. He launched 300 companies with the name Virgin. Virgin Music, Virgin Rail, Virgin Active, Virgin Brides, Virgin Brides, Virgin Comics, Virgin Cruises, Virgin Mobile, and Virgin Money. His most recent venture is Virgin Galactic, and he's eyeing space tourism. So Virgin is the most brilliant brand name of all time. By definition, a virgin is young, innocent, and inexperienced. So as a brand, that means even when one of Sir Richard's companies fails, the core brand grows even stronger because it shows the spirit of trying something new. And so he used Richard to convince Vin that his name doesn't have to be in the brand to make himself, So monetizing his personal brand would be put on the back burner for now. Creating his own product, on the other hand, freed Vin from having to answer to anyone, clients, investors, or employees. Vin's concern was that while he understood the ins and outs of online marketing, Vin didn't, in his mind, have $1 million worth of something to sell. Given that they needed to earn $83,333 per month to hit the target of $1 million in a year. So after following what they had discussed, Vin wanted his agency to be the best in the world and to have a generic enough name to accommodate any pivot or client need. After researching available URLs, Vin anointed his aptly new company the world's best agency. So the business model for his new agency was our next discussion. Choosing the right business model was the key to creating wealth quickly. For now, we agreed that Vin's agency would focus on the service business model, and later Vin could test selling a product under his personal brand. His goal would be to focus on clients that would commit a multi-month campaign as opposed to a one-time product launch. So Vin's Clancy agency model, I knew the sales would be lumpy. One month he could sign on 3 clients and another month he could lose clients. But agencies build momentum. So his hope was that Vin would reinvest the profits he made into the agency, into marketing with the product. But how could his agency get clients quickly? Vin needed to find a niche to differentiate his agency. In 2017, everyone from personal trainers to Wall Street tycoons were caught up in the Bitcoin frenzy. Every Facebook's feed was filled with stories on how much money could be made. The year began with Bitcoin worth less than 1,000 a unit and ended 2017 with a price just shy of 20,000. FOMO, fear of missing out, was further being stalked by industry experts like Octagon Strategies Managing Director Dave Chapman predicting Bitcoin to top 100,000 in 2018. With millions of people flocking to invest, Bitcoin and Bitcoin exchanges didn't need any marketing help. But in its massive shadow, Bitcoin planted the seed for an entirely new crop to come to market. The alternate coins. Altcoins such as EOS, Ethereum, or Aspire are cryptocurrencies that are designed to improve upon some of the systemic limitations of the original Bitcoin blockchain. Like miners racing to California in the gold rush of 1848, the stampede to launch coin offerings of new and improved cryptocurrencies had begun. By the time Vin and I sat down for our first meeting, over 1,000 altcoins were in the works, all racing to come to the market quick and fast to make money before it vanished. However, how would all these new coins find a market and get discovered? If only there was a digital marketing agency that specialized in ICOs. With that one session completed, Vin now had his plan for future-proofing in place. He was going to focus on altcoins and launch the world's best agency for cryptocurrencies. And this little great thing right here says, as the only social media agency targeting this new sector of cryptocurrency and therefore by definition being the best agency in the world, Vin quickly signed up his first 2 clients and made $60,591 in his first month. Vin Clancy, agency owner and cryptocurrency marketing expert, was so energized from accomplishing this in his first 30 days that I believe he could have flown home to England without an airplane. More importantly than making the money, Vin was delivering real value to his clients. With Vin's help, one of his cryptocurrency clients registered 36,000 customers for their ICO pre-sale and raised more than 80 million in a single day. With this one case study, the world's best agency had proven it was true to its name. As impressive as 6,000 a month sound, Vin needed to grow his business by more than 50% immediately just to hit $1 million in 12 months. I had faith in him, but was unsure of what obstacles lay ahead. I didn't know what to expect in the coming months, other than knowing it was going to be an amazing journey. So as comedian Lily Tomlin once joked, the road to success is always under construction. And that is it for chapter 2. We basically focused on problems, finding a solution to the problems, and just hitting a TAM, which is total addressable market. And literally your only goal for TAM is to go global. So that basically what chapter 2 is about. Now, if you're gonna join me on this challenge for 30 days, if I do a chapter a day, there's not even 30 chapters. So we won't even get to that list. So what I would say is do at least 1 week, 7 days of writing all your problems and find your best problem that would reach scale and position, scale and passion, with passion being your number 1, and then we'll focus about how to scale that, and then that'll kind of start us pretty much with this experiment. That's it, actually. So that's it for chapter 2. Chapter 3 is about harnessing fear to your advantage. And then we'll get into that. I won't read it now. But that being said, if you haven't bought the book already, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below so you can buy your book if you are gonna read along. There's a lot of lines that I am missing. To me, they're not that important, but to other readers, they might be important. But what I'm giving you are just solid points, and basically I mean, basically, whatever I went over in this video kind of told you what this chapter was about. So I don't think I'm missing very important things. However, if you want to follow along, grab the book. We're already going into chapter 3. And if you'd like to join and you like this book club, like, subscribe, and then comments your comments about chapter 2 in the video. That's it. Thank you for watching.